Commander Elena Santos stood at the viewport of Luna Base, watching Earth's blue marble spin against the star-studded void. Her reflection stared back, dark eyes sharp with focus, graying hair pulled into a tight military bun. The encrypted message on her neural display counted down. 3 hours until the hegemony's arrival. Final status report. She subvocalized, her quantum neural implant translating the thought into a secure transmission. All planetary defense systems powered down as ordered, Colonel Wei responded. Our primitive missile batteries are on full display. Quantum shielding and advanced weapon systems are masked. The hegemony will see exactly what we want them to see. A vulnerable Type 1 civilization barely reaching for the stars. Elena allowed herself a small smile. Humanity had discovered quantum folding technology 50 years ago, but instead of announcing their breakthrough to the cosmos, they had chosen patience. Years of listening to distant alien transmissions had taught them caution. The galaxy was not a peaceful place, and advanced civilizations had a habit of subjugating or protecting their younger neighbors. The first ripple of distorted space announced the hegemony fleet's arrival. Their ships emerged like crystalline mountains, each vessel dozens of kilometers long, their hulls grown from living crystal that pulsed with internal light, exactly as their long-range scans had predicted. Magnificent, aren't they? Dr. James Chen appeared beside her, his weathered face reflecting the crystalline ship's glow. As head of Earth's quantum physics division, he had helped perfect the technology that would soon shock the galaxy. Hard to believe they never explored the quantum possibilities we discovered. Too focused on brute force approaches. Their arrogance will be their weakness, Elena replied. Status of the Quantum Fold Network. Online but invisible. Our stealth satellites are painting a complete targeting grid. The entire solar system is mapped for instant quantum translations. When the time comes, we'll be able to outmaneuver them at will. The hegemony's hails came exactly as predicted, demanding humanity's immediate submission and integration into their empire. Elena played her role perfectly, projecting carefully crafted fear and awe as she welcomed their delegation to Luna Base. The hegemony representatives towered over the human welcoming party, their crystalline bodies refracting light in complex patterns. Ambassador Xanthar's translated voice boomed through the chamber. Your species shows promise, despite your primitive state. Accept our guidance, and in a mere 1,000 years, you may earn limited citizenship rights. Elena bowed low, hiding her fierce grin. We are honored by your generous offer, Ambassador. Though I must ask, what becomes of species who refuse? The ambassador's crystalline form darkened. They tend to suffer unfortunate accidents. The galaxy is a dangerous place for primitive races who reject our protection. I understand completely, Elena replied, her quantum neural implant recording every detail of the hegemony ship configurations visible through the viewport. Earth will need time to prepare our people for such a momentous transition. You have 1 standard month, Xanthar declared. Use it wisely. After the hegemony delegation departed, Elena received an urgent message from the Quantum Fold Research Facility, hidden beneath Titan's methane seas. Dr. Chen's daughter Maya had made a breakthrough in drive efficiency. They could now translate entire fleets through quantum space with minimal energy signatures. Elena sent the go-ahead to begin upgrading their hidden ships. Humanity would use this month of preparation well, though not in the way the hegemony intended. As she watched their crystalline ships vanish into fold space, she thought about how shocked they would be to learn that humanity had mastered technologies they had never even imagined. The real challenge wasn't developing advanced technology. It was hiding it long enough to gain a decisive advantage. Humanity had learned harsh lessons from its own history about the dangers of technological disparities between civilizations. They would not allow themselves to become another subjugated race. In her private quarters that evening, Elena reviewed the quantum scans of the hegemony fleet. Their ships were impressive, but relied entirely on brute force approaches, massive energy weapons, conventional shields, predictable tactics. They had never developed the subtle arts of quantum manipulation that humans had mastered. Begin Phase 2, she transmitted to her waiting commanders. Maintain appearances of submission while completing fleet preparations. In 1 month, we show the galaxy that humanity will never kneel. The pieces were in place. The web was woven. Now they just had to maintain the deception for 30 more days. Elena smiled as she watched Earth's primitive satellites track the departing hegemony ships. Sometimes the best place to hide was in plain sight, and humanity had become masters of hiding in the quantum shadows between what their would-be conquerors thought possible and what truly was. The next month would require perfect coordination and absolute secrecy. But when the time came, the hegemony would learn that they weren't dealing with a primitive species in need of protection. They were dealing with humanity at its most innovative and determined. And that was a force that would shake the very foundations of their crystal empire. Deep beneath Titan's methane seas, Maya Chen watched streams of quantum data flow across her holographic displays. The massive quantum fold drive prototype hummed behind reinforced walls, its geometry-defying structure hidden beneath layers of stealth shielding. A hegemony survey ship passed overhead, its sensors probing the moon's opaque orange atmosphere. Status report. Her neural implant chimed with Commander Santos's voice. Drive efficiency up another 12%. Maya responded, her fingers dancing through the quantum calculations. We can now move the entire fleet simultaneously with minimal energy signatures. The hegemony sensors will register only random methane bubbles. The quantum fold drive was humanity's greatest achievement and their greatest secret. While the hegemony brute forced their way through space with massive energy expenditure, humans had learned to slip between the quantum shadows, translating matter through microscopic folds in space-time. Incoming inspection team, her security chief warned. 3 hegemony scientists, ETA 5 minutes. Maya quickly activated the facility's camouflage protocols. Quantum computers became primitive data processors. The fold drive disappeared behind holographic masks showing basic methane mining equipment. Her own neural implants went dark, leaving only the carefully crafted facade of a simple research station. The hegemony scientists towered over her in their crystalline environmental suits. Their leader, senior researcher Krell, studied her primitive equipment with obvious disdain. "Your methane extraction methods are horrifically inefficient," he noted. "Though I suppose that's to be expected from such a young species." Maya played her role perfectly, projecting eager submission. "We would be grateful for any guidance your advanced civilization could provide. All in good time. Once your integration is complete, we will uplift you properly." Krell's crystalline form shifted colors as he examined a data readout. Though these energy readings are rather unusual, random fluctuations in the methane sea. "Yes, exactly," Maya replied with carefully calculated enthusiasm. "We've been studying them, but our primitive sensors can't properly analyze the phenomenon. Perhaps your advanced technology could help us understand." Krell's form darkened with pride. The Empire's Science Division has cataloged every form of natural energy fluctuation in the galaxy. These are clearly just standard methane sea dynamics. Your primitive instruments must be malfunctioning. After they left, Maya allowed herself a small smile. The hegemony's certainty in their own superiority made them blind to humanity's quantum revelations. They saw what they expected to see, a primitive species struggling with basic technology. Deep below, the quantum fold drive continued its work, invisible to their sensors. Later that evening, Maya received an encrypted transmission from her father at Luna Base. "The hegemony fleet is growing restless," Dr. Chen reported. "Their empire faces mounting internal pressures, food riots in their outer colonies, resource shortages. They're starting to see Earth as a vital acquisition, rather than just another primitive world to absorb." Maya studied the quantum calculations flowing across her display. "How much longer can we maintain the deception?" 20 more days until planned revelation. Commander Santos wants every ship equipped with the latest drive upgrades by then." He paused. "The hegemony's desperation makes them dangerous. Be careful, daughter." Maya's attention turned to the massive hangar hidden beneath the quantum shadows. Dozens of Earth's most advanced ships waited there, each equipped with technology the hegemony couldn't even comprehend. Their crystalline vessels were impressive, but they were relics of an outdated understanding of physics. A priority alert flashed across her neural display. Unusual movement in the hegemony fleet. 3 of their massive ships had broken formation, moving to positions that would give them firing solutions on Earth's major population centers. "They're getting impatient," she transmitted to Commander Santos. "The facade is starting to crack." "Then we accelerate our preparations," Santos replied. "How quickly can you bring the fleet to full combat readiness?" Maya's fingers flew across the quantum interfaces, running calculations. 5 days minimum. "But Commander, the moment we power up the full fleet, there's a risk they'll detect something even through our quantum masking." "Understood. Maintain current status for now. But be ready. If they force our hand early, we'll need every ship we can muster." That night, as Titan's methane seas churned above the hidden facility, Maya worked on final drive calibrations. The hegemony thought they were dealing with simple primitives in need of guidance. Soon they would learn that humanity had surpassed them in ways their crystalline minds couldn't imagine. She watched the quantum data flow, each calculation bringing them closer to Revelation Day. Let the hegemony grow impatient. Let them think their crystalline might make them invincible. The greatest victories often came from being underestimated. In the quantum shadows beneath Titan's seas, humanity's real power grew. And when the time came to step into the light, the galaxy would never be the same. Lieutenant Aisha Patel drifted in the quantum-shadowed void beyond Neptune, her stealth scout ship invisible to conventional sensors. Through her neural interface, she watched the hegemony supply fleet lumber past. Their crystalline hulls pulsed with internal light, beautiful but predictable. Target data confirmed. She transmitted through the quantum net. "Their supply lines are exactly where we predicted. All major shipping routes converge at these coordinates." The hegemony's empire was vast, but increasingly fragile. Food riots in their outer colonies, resource shortages, civil unrest. Their grip on power relied on strictly controlled supply chains, chains that humanity had spent weeks mapping in secret. "Excellent work," Commander Santos responded. "Return to base. And Aisha, watch your quantum signature. Their patrol routes have become erratic." As if to emphasize the point, a massive hegemony warship translated into normal space barely 1,000 kilometers away. Aisha held her breath, though she knew her ship was undetectable within its quantum shadow. The massive vessel's crystal surfaces caught Neptune's dim sunlight, refracting it in complex patterns. Her neural implant highlighted structural weaknesses in the hegemony ship's design, points where their rigid crystalline technology made them vulnerable to quantum manipulation. The data would be invaluable when the time came for open conflict. The quantum net filled her mind with updates from across the solar system. Maya Chen's team on Titan had completed drive upgrades on half the fleet. Earth's apparent submission continued to satisfy most hegemony observers, though some were growing suspicious of anomalous energy readings they couldn't quite explain. "They're being careless," her tactical officer, David Kumar, noted as they watched the hegemony warship lumber past. "Their right flanks are always heavily defended, but their left sides are exposed. Some kind of cultural blind spot." Their crystalline ancestors emerged from the right side of their home system's asteroid belt, Aisha replied, recalling the cultural briefings. "They consider their right flanks sacred. It makes their battle formations predictable." When humanity finally revealed its true capabilities, such predictability would prove fatal. Back at the quantum-hidden base in the Kuiper Belt, Aisha reviewed the data with her command staff. The hegemony's supply fleet movements painted a clear picture. Their empire was struggling to maintain control of its vast territory. They needed Earth's resources more desperately than they let on. "Their inspection schedules are increasing," David reported. "They're visiting every facility twice as often as last week. Either they suspect something, or they're getting impatient." Aisha's neural implant flashed with a priority message from Luna Base. Commander Santos's voice filled her mind. New intelligence confirms our window is shrinking. The hegemony's internal situation is deteriorating faster than expected. How soon can your strike teams be ready? Aisha studied the tactical displays, calculating possibilities. 3 days to bring all teams to combat readiness. But Commander, if we power up our full capabilities now, there's a risk they'll detect something even through the quantum shadows. Understood. Maintain current status, but be prepared to move on short notice. Their desperation makes them dangerous. That evening, as her teams ran silent combat drills in the void, Aisha pondered the web humanity had woven. Quantum hidden ships and bases throughout the solar system. Stealth satellites mapping every hegemony movement. Supply lines analyzed. Weaknesses identified. Strike plans prepared. The hegemony thought they were dealing with simple primitives grateful for their guidance. They couldn't imagine that humanity had spent years preparing for this moment, developing technologies that transcended their crystalline understanding of physics. An alert flashed through the quantum net. Maya Chen's team had detected unusual energy spikes from the hegemony fleet around Mars. They were positioning ships for a show of force, perhaps hoping to speed up Earth's integration process. All teams on standby. Aisha transmitted to her strike groups. If they force our hand, be ready to hit their supply lines exactly as planned. She watched Neptune's blue disk through the viewport, remembering ancient tales of sea battles and naval strategy. Humanity had millennia of experience in warfare, deception, and asymmetric conflict. The hegemony, for all their apparent power, thought in rigid, crystalline patterns. Soon they would learn what happened when they underestimated humanity's capacity for innovation and determination. In the quantum shadows between the stars, humanity's hidden fleet waited. The web was woven. The trap was set. All that remained was to spring it at precisely the right moment. And when that moment came, the hegemony would learn that sometimes the deadliest force was the one you never saw coming. The red dust of Mars swirled against reinforced windows as Commander Elena Santos faced the holographic images of Earth's Unified Defense Council. The hegemony's deadline was approaching fast, but more worrying were the massive crystalline warships now taking up aggressive positions around the Mars colony. They're attempting to force our hand, Elena reported, studying tactical overlays in her neural display. 3 capital ships positioned to threaten our largest Mars settlement. 20,000 civilians at risk. Can we maintain the deception? Council President Chen asked, his holographic form flickering with concern. A warning flashed through Elena's quantum implant, Maya Chen's voice urgent in her mind. Commander, detecting power buildups in their weapon systems. They're not bluffing. Elena's decision crystallized in an instant. No choice. We must reveal ourselves ahead of schedule. I take full responsibility for the consequences. The Council's approval came swiftly. They had prepared for this possibility. All fleet elements. This is Commander Santos. She transmitted through the quantum net. Operation Dawnbreak is now active. I repeat, Dawnbreak is active. All ships emerge from quantum shadow on my mark. Across the solar system, humanity's hidden fleet prepared to reveal itself. Beneath the methane seas of Titan, within the asteroid's quantum shadows, in the void beyond Neptune, ships powered up their advanced drives. Technology that would shock the hegemony was about to be unveiled. The hegemony commander's transmission was predictably arrogant. Your Mars colony shows concerning signs of independence. Submit to immediate occupation, or we will demonstrate the consequences of defiance. Elena allowed herself a small smile. This is Commander Elena Santos of the Earth Defense Force. Before you take any aggressive action, I suggest you check your sensor readings again. Carefully this time. All ships, reveal, she transmitted through the quantum net. Across the solar system, humanity's true fleet emerged from quantum shadows. Advanced warships appeared seemingly from nowhere, their designs sleek and deadly compared to the hegemony's crystalline bulk. Quantum fold drives hummed to life, allowing ships to translate instantly between strategic positions. The hegemony commander's crystalline form shifted through colors of shock and disbelief. Impossible. You are a pre-FTL species. Our scans confirmed. Your scans showed exactly what we wanted them to show. Alina interrupted. Humanity mastered quantum physics decades ago. We simply chose to wait for the right moment to reveal ourselves. On her tactical display, she watched Aisha's strike teams emerging from quantum shadows around key hegemony supply lines. Maya's upgraded drives were performing perfectly, allowing human ships to outmaneuver the suddenly confused hegemony fleet. This is your only warning, Alina continued. Withdraw your forces from Mars orbit immediately. Any aggressive action will be met with overwhelming force. You dare threaten the eternal hegemony? We will crush your pitiful. The hegemony commander's transmission cut off as his flagship's weapons powered up. Alina had expected this reaction. Pride was the fatal flaw of empires. All ships, execute planned response. Minimal casualties, maximum impact. Human vessels translated through quantum space faster than hegemony sensors could track. Precision strikes disabled the crystalline ship's main weapons and engines. In the space of 30 seconds, the entire hegemony task force hung powerless above Mars. Perhaps now you're ready to discuss this civilly, Alina transmitted to the disabled flagship. Humanity has no desire for war with the hegemony. But we will not submit to your rule. We are offering you a choice: peaceful coexistence as equals, or... She let the tactical display speak for itself, showing the hundreds of advanced human ships now revealed across the solar system, each capable of translating instantly through quantum space to strike anywhere in the hegemony's empire. Your supply lines are vulnerable. Your empire faces internal crisis. And now you face a species with technology that surpasses your understanding. Choose carefully. The hegemony commander's next transmission was notably more diplomatic. As negotiations began, Alina received Maya's status report. Quantum fold network fully operational. All ships performing beyond specifications. We can hit any target in their empire within minutes. Well done, everyone. Alina transmitted to her commanders. But stay alert. This is just the beginning. The hegemony won't accept this new reality easily. She studied the tactical display, watching human ships maintain their strategic positions around the disabled hegemony fleet. Decades of preparation had led to this moment. Humanity had revealed its true capabilities, not through conquest or destruction, but through a show of force that proved their technological superiority. The game would change now. The galaxy would never be the same. But humanity was ready for whatever came next. The crystalline spires of the hegemony's flagship gleamed in Earth's sunlight as the peace conference began. 1 week after humanity's revelation of their true capabilities, representatives from both civilizations gathered in neutral space between Earth and Luna. Maya Chen studied the quantum data streams as she stood beside Commander Santos. The hegemony's initial shock had given way to a complex mix of fear, respect, and desperate calculation. Their empire was fragmenting. They needed this agreement as much as they feared it. Their fleet positions suggest they're still considering military options, Aisha reported through the quantum net. Her stealth ships maintained invisible watch throughout the solar system. But they know we can hit their supply lines faster than they can react. The hegemony's Grand Ambassador Xanthar entered the conference chamber, crystalline form carefully maintained in neutral colors. Gone was the condescending glow of their first meeting. Now the ambassador faced Commander Santos as an equal, exactly as humanity had planned. Your deception was impressive, Xanthar admitted. No species has ever hidden their true capabilities from us so completely. We had good teachers, Alina replied. Your empire's history of uplifting younger civilizations showed us exactly what not to do. Humanity chose a different path. The negotiations proceeded carefully. Through the quantum net, Alina coordinated with Earth's Defense Council, while Maya's sensors monitored every fluctuation in the hegemony ship's crystal matrices. They could detect the slightest hint of weapon activation. "We propose a new framework for galactic civilization," Alina continued. "Not an empire built on domination, but an alliance of equals. Your people's experience combined with humanity's innovation. Together we could solve the resource crisis threatening your outer colonies." A surge of communication passed through the hegemony fleet. Alina watched through tactical displays as their ships shifted positions, not to attack, but to defensive formations. They were actually considering the offer. "And if we refuse?" Tanfar's crystalline form rippled with complex emotions. "Then we demonstrate exactly how vulnerable your supply lines are," Alina replied calmly. "Your empire is already fracturing. How long could you maintain control if your resource distribution network suddenly failed?" Maya's quantum sensors detected power fluctuations throughout the hegemony fleet, signs of internal debate reaching a crescendo. The Empire's rigid hierarchy was facing its greatest challenge: adapt or collapse. The decision, when it came, shook the galaxy. The hegemony agreed to a revolutionary restructuring. Their empire would transition to a confederation of autonomous regions. Humanity's quantum fold technology would be shared selectively, preventing any one power from dominating the others. "It's really happening," Maya transmitted to her father back on Luna. "They're actually accepting change." "Because we gave them no choice," Dr. Chen replied, "but also offered them a better way forward. That's humanity's true strength, not just our technology, but our ability to imagine different futures." In the months that followed, the galaxy transformed. The hegemony's client species gained independence. Trade routes were reorganized using quantum fold technology, ending resource shortages that had plagued the outer colonies. Ancient crystalline hierarchies gave way to new forms of cooperation. Commander Santos stood on the observation deck of humanity's new quantum fold station, watching ships from a dozen species arrive for diplomatic exchanges. The fear of showing weakness that had driven humanity's initial deception had given way to something greater: the chance to reshape galactic civilization itself. "Ready for your next assignment?" she asked Maya, who had joined her at the viewport. "The former hegemony worlds are requesting quantum physics instructors. Seems they're eager to understand how we managed to surpass their technology." "Teaching former oppressors," Maya smiled. "That's a plot twist I didn't expect." "The best victories aren't won through destruction," Alina replied, watching a crystalline ship dock alongside human vessels. "They're won by changing how your opponents think. Humanity didn't just reveal our technological superiority. We proved there was a better way to use it." The quantum net hummed with activity as ships translated between stars, carrying ideas and innovations that would once have been suppressed. Humanity's great deception had ended, but their greatest achievement was just beginning. A galaxy where progress wasn't limited by fear, where different species could learn from each other as equals. The stars stretched out before them, infinite in their possibility. And humanity, no longer hiding in quantum shadows, was ready to help forge a new future among them.